Once again, back is the incredible business credit builder. Thanks everybody for coming. This is the first broadcast of 2022. And Happy New Year to everybody. If you are viewing this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, like, comment, and all that stuff, right? Welcome. At this point in time, if you can hear me and you know where the chat is, put the name, your name, the name of your business, and the type of business that you do. Okay? Put that in the chat room right now if you can hear me. All right? Let's get started. This is Business Credit Builder, small business webinar, how to build business credit for your EIN that is not linked to your social. Hold on one second. Yo, PT, turn down TV for me. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so once again, this is how to build credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social. And this is the free money edition, which means I'm gonna tell you how I learned about business credit from one of my clients and how he was getting free money. Now, I'm not gonna teach you how to get the free money. I'm gonna teach you how to build business credit, because the way he was getting free money was shady, but that's how I found out about business credit. And I'm gonna tell you the story by the end of this webinar, okay? Let's get started. My name is Noel A. Booker Sr. I'm the CEO at businesscreditbuilder.us LLC. Take notes on the contact info, and there's 2 buttons at the bottom. How to get a free guide on how to build business credit. Just go to businesscreditbuilder.us/free guide. And the other button down there at the bottom is when you want to talk to me about the services that we provide and how we can help you, you get a free business credit consultation by going to /consult, all right? Okay, let me give you a little bit of background about me. I was born and raised in New York City, went to Morehouse, studied accounting. My first job out of Morehouse was with the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company. And so I worked a few corporate accounting gigs, but I've always been entrepreneurial. And I started a company called MediaNet USA Incorporated. And what we do at MediaNet is accounting, bookkeeping for small businesses. We do websites for small businesses. And now we talk about business credit, okay? And how I got to talk about business credit, right? So my client, we're gonna call my client Jay, has a freight company, and I'm working at Jay's company doing accounting, right, for his freight company. He also had me doing websites for his companies and his clients' companies, right? So I noticed that every time I did a website, $250,000 hit the bank. I know that because I'm doing the books, okay? Okay, so one day I said, Jay, I need to get some money. Can you find something for me to do? He said, this is what you do. Peachy, turn that down some more, please. Excuse me. So he told me to go find a company, and we're going to do a deal with this company, and I can make some money off of that deal, right? I said, okay, bet. So my boy named Philly Phil, he has a company that he was just sitting on. And he told me to do the website, do everything like he told me to do for the other companies. 6 months later, Me and Philly Phil, we walk into a Chrysler and get 4 brand new vans that we use to do Amazon Prime deliveries now. Okay, no credit check, no cosign, all that stuff is all straight on the business. That's how I know business credit works. Okay, I'm gonna continue this story throughout the presentation, and I'm gonna tell you how he was getting free money. Okay, so let's get started here. And I'm gonna let you know that this webinar is not like a sales webinar. I do sell the services of helping you build your business credit, but I'm gonna teach you all the steps needed to build business credit. So take notes, take screenshots, whatever you do. You can ask questions at the appropriate times. I got a lot of information to cram into a little bit of time. So I'm gonna go really fast. So take notes, okay? Here we go, business credit. What is business credit? Business credit is credit that is obtained in the business name. With business credit, the business builds its own credit profile and credit score. With an established credit profile and score, the business will then qualify for credit, okay? This credit is in the business name and based on the business's ability to pay, not the business owner's ability to pay. Since the business qualifies for the credit, in some cases, there is no personal credit check required from the business owner. The business can use this credit to qualify for revolving store credit cards like Staples, Lowe's, Sam's Club, Costco, BP, Walmart, even MasterCard, Visa, and American Express, okay? The business can also qualify for credit lines and loans once you have business credit. Okay, here goes some benefits of having business credit. A credit profile can be built for a business that is completely separate from the business owner's personal credit profile, okay? So like, let's say on the left hand, you got your social security number. You can, with your social security number, create a credit profile and you build your FICO score, right? On the other hand, let's say you have your EIN number. With your EIN number, you can create a profile and build credit for your business. And these are 2 separate things. They do not intertwine unless you let it. This gives business owners double the borrowing power as they have both personal and business credit profiles built. And that's legit. Business credit scores are based only on whether the business pays its bills on time. Business owner can obtain credit much faster using their business credit profile versus their personal credit profile. Okay, so with personal credit, there are 5 factors that affect your personal credit score. These are the 5 factors: your payment history, utilization, length of credit history, accumulation of new credit, credit mix, okay? All these things affect your personal credit score. And some of this stuff you don't have that much control over, okay? But with business credit, there's only one factor that affects your business credit score, and that is how you pay your bills. At Dun & Bradstreet, they have this thing called the Paydex score. This is the score that creditors look at to determine your credit worthiness. The score is from 0 to 100. So if you got like a 100, then that tells the lenders, the creditors, that they expect you to pay early, okay? If you're closer to 100. If you got about an 80, then that means you pay on time, okay? And 80 is where you need to be. If you get about 70, that means you're about 14 days beyond the terms. That's how you usually pay. 14 days beyond the terms, and 70 is a lendable number. But I tell my clients to get to 80, and it's easy to get to 80, okay? It's easy to get there, okay? And so forth. You see how it runs down, right? 0 to 100, right? Okay. Approval limits are much higher on business accounts versus personal accounts. Per the SBA, credit limits on business cards are usually 10 times higher than consumer credit. When done correctly, business credit can be built without a personal credit check. Business credit can quickly be obtained regardless of personal credit quality. And there is no personal credit reporting of business accounts. That's the key piece right there. So when you get accounts for your business, they report to the business credit reporting agencies compared to reporting to your personal consumer agencies, okay? Most business credit can be obtained without the owner taking on personal liability or a personal guarantee. This means in case of default, the business owner's personal assets cannot be pursued. So if you're a business and you borrowed money and you default and didn't pay that loan, then they just come for the assets of the business and not your personal assets. When a business owner applies for financing, their business credit is reviewed. They don't have to ask you permission. If you say you're a business, they're looking, the first place they're looking is your business credit report. They do not have to ask you permission. Not having business credit established will get an owner declined for financing. And if not declined, then it'll affect how much you can get, the terms, your interest, okay? So not having business credit can affect all those things. There are no regulations that require the lenders notify the business owner for their reason for denial. So most never know. Anyone can pull your business credit reports without your permission. Clients, prospects, potential buyers, and even competitors can see your business information. This means they can see payment history, high credit limits, number of employees and revenue, past payment performance, and much more information they can see on your business credit report. Okay? Almost any business can get business credit as long as they have an EIN number and an entity set up. You don't need collateral, you don't need financials, and you can be a startup. You just need to know the proper building steps, okay? So, building business credit is a step-by-step process. Each step is needed for the next step. So there's no skipping steps, okay? You know how we do, we like to skip steps, jump the line and stuff, right? Okay. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is what anybody can see for free. You would go to the Experian website, and there's a place on Experian's website where you can put in your business name and address, or anybody's business name and address, and you can see information like this. This is for Mars Incorporated. They're in McLean, Virginia. Now, the thing that I want to bring to your attention is the number of trade lines. You see that? 22 trade lines they have. Now, let me go over what a trade line is, because the trade line is the basis for building business credit. And I want us to be on the same page before we even go forward, right? So this is what a trade line is. When you go to a company and they give you an account on credit, right? Which means that you can go and buy something and don't have to pay for it right then, right? They give you an invoice and they tell you to pay at a later date, right? So you buy something. Now you have the product, they gave you the invoice. You didn't pay it yet. Now it's time to pay. right? Now it's time to pay this bill. So what happens when you do pay this bill is this company sends a report to the business credit reporting agencies. This report says XYZ company, they have an account with us. They have a limit of X amount of dollars with us. They made a purchase and they paid it in X amount of days. And that's the report that they send to the business credit reporting agencies. The business credit reporting agencies take this report and they put it on your business credit profile. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one trade line. Okay? Does anybody have a question on what a trade line is? You can raise your hand, open up your mic, you can chat, you can put it in the chat. All right? Let's see, we got something in the chat. Okay, while y'all do that, let's see what we got here. Tiffany's in here from 123 Capital Funding, providing commercial funding for your business. And Anthony Freeman, A&K World Services Trucking. A&K World Services, that sounds familiar. All right. Okay, so no questions about what a trade line is. Everybody knows what a trade line is. We good? We good? We're gonna move forward then. Miss Scott has her hand up. Go ahead, Miss Scott. Miss Scott, okay.
You could elaborate a little bit in regards to what a trade line was, please.
Let me to elaborate. Okay, so you got this account, right? Let's say the account is with Home Depot. We bought some wood, but we didn't have to pay for it because we got this credit account, right? So we go home willy-nilly with our wood, and they gave us an invoice. And we got, what, about 30 days to pay the invoice or whatever it is, right? Now, when it's time for us to pay, Home Depot sends a report. When we pay it, they send a report to the business credit reporting agencies. I'm gonna tell you what that is, what those are soon, but I'm just letting you know what a trade line is, that they're gonna send the business credit reporting agencies a report. And the business credit reporting agencies are gonna take this report and they're gonna put it on your credit profile, right? And the report says XYZ company has an account with us. They have such and such amount of limit with us. They made a purchase and they paid the invoice off in such and such amount of days, right? So it tells them how you're paying your bill, right? They have this amount of money to spend. They spent this amount of money and then they paid that invoice off in X amount of days. So that creates a track record of how you are paying your bills. Okay.
Got you. Thank you.
All right. Was that a better explanation? All right.
Yes,
cool.
A little bit of what you were saying. I apologize.
Cool. Ms. McKinney, is it better to pay in full or is there a certain percentage that can be paid? That is a good question. So in business credit, there are different stages of the accounts that you need to get. The first accounts you're gonna get are net 30 accounts where you gotta pay it in 30 days in full. And then when you get revolving accounts, I'm gonna tell you how to do everything. When you get revolving accounts, then they give you a minimum amount to pay like a credit card. And I'm gonna tell you more about that coming up. All right, Ms. McKinney? Cool, any more questions before we move forward? Let's get it.
Thank you so much for answering that.
No problem. All right, so bust it. Publix, you see this? They got 171 trade lines, right? You see that, right? Publix and Walmart. Walmart is the king of business credit, okay? So Walmart, 80% of all the money that they take in comes from business credit. Whew. What you talking about? 80% of all the money that they take in comes from business credit. And this is how they do it. They go to Bounty. They say, Bounty, let me get a truckload of toilet paper. The owner of Walmart don't go in his pocket and pay it. He don't call accounting and say, yo, cut this check. The truck shows up. They put the toilet paper on the shelf. We go in there with our money and pay for the toilet paper. They take our money and pay the bill. And Bounty says, hey, you did that good. Here's 5 truckloads. And Walmart does that 513 times, over and over again. All right? This is how business is done at the big corporate level and at the small business level. At the small business level, the corner store, right? My dad owned the corner store too. But at the corner store, when the bread guy comes, he's not paying for that bread right there. He's counting how many units came in, how many units went out. This is how business is done. Business to business. All right? All right. How to build business credit for your EIN that is not linked to your social. Make sure y'all are taking notes, but we're going to go fast. Okay. Business credit building. A business starts building a brand new credit profile, much the same as a consumer. The business starts with no credit profile. The business gets approved for new credit that reports to the business credit reporting agency. The business uses the credit and pays the bill timely. A positive business credit profile is established as the business continues using the credit and pays bills timely. It will qualify for more credit. Okay. Yeah, just like the bank takes your money. Yep, that's it. Okay. Okay, so this is the first step. This is what I call credibility. I also call this step fundability. How much funding your business is able to get, right? So credibility, this is step 1. And I want to also say that this is the most important step. Ms. Scott, you can lower your hand, thank you. So this credibility piece right here is the most important stop right here. This is the most important step, because when you go apply for a loan or an account or something, it's just an application with these fields on it. And from this application, they are set up to approve you automatically based on your answers of this application. Each field that they are asking you to give information, they are actually doing something. For instance, with the business name, what they are doing is looking up a database of all business names with a similar name and address as yours. And if it does not match exactly, it has to match exactly, because the computer matching it up, right? So it has to match exactly. If it doesn't match exactly, then they can deny you, and they do not have to tell you why. Okay? So what that means for a small business owner is, let's say your name has a dash in it or some special characters. You got this application and you're rushing through this application. You didn't put the dash or the special characters. You abbreviated the name and you just keep it moving. Well, boom, they're going to deny you because it didn't match up. Now, what that means is you just keep on doing this and getting denied, and you're saying to yourself, hey, this thing don't even work. I can't get approved. See, so these little details can mess you up. And we're trying to get you set up so that you can have the right stuff on the application and get automatic approvals. Can we go back to the articles of incorporation to find what? Oh,
So,
the
so if
name.
they're saying that if everything has to match exactly when they go and do the research, are they going to be looking at like the states? Are they going to be looking at each state database with the Secretary of State? Are they going to do that?
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Okay. All
So
right.
when
I
you got
just
that,
want,
you're exactly on it. You're exactly on it. They go to the Secretary of State. So that's where, when you get that certificate from the Secretary of State, that's how you want to spell your name and your address exactly. Exactly.
so even if you're no longer at that address, because sometimes people set up their business, and it might be a home business, they use their home address. Is it, can you, I mean, is it interchangeable when do you have to change it with the state, the Secretary of State? But
Good
if it's
question.
article incorporation, then that's, you can't really do that because it's already incorporated. So do we have to use the original address going forward?
Okay, this is a good question. So this is how it goes, right? When you fill out that application, it all needs to line up. The day before you fill out the application, you could be at whatever address. But when you fill out the application, it needs to line up. Okay. So if you change your address along the way, you need to go back to the Secretary of State, change the address. You need to go to the IRS where you have your EIN number, change the address. You need to change your address every single place. When you fill out that application, they lining up everything. Okay. So in Georgia, my state, it costs $20 to change the address, right? It doesn't cost anything to change the address when you are renewing it. I don't know how every other state does, but that's how they do it in Georgia, okay? Okay, so that's the crucial piece. Everything needs to line up, exactly, right? Okay, let me keep on moving. The perception lenders, vendors, and creditors have of your business is critical to your ability to build strong business credit. Before applying for business credit, a business must ensure it meets or exceeds all lender credibility standards. There are over 20 credibility points that are necessary for a business to have a strong, credible foundation. Okay? Okay, you in Georgia too, word up. Okay, it is very important that you use your exact business legal name. We already went over this, right? Exact business legal name, all right? Let's see, ensure your business name is exactly the same on your corporation papers, licenses, and bank statements. When you set up your corporation, they ask you to select an entity. What you need to know is, in order to separate your personal liability from your business liability, you want to choose a limited liability corporation, also known as a LLC, or a corporation, like an S Corp or something like that, right? So corporation or LLC. If you choose partnership or proprietorship, then that means you are personally liable for anything that happens with that business. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, EIN number. I'm not going to talk that much about EIN number. We're going to graze right past the EIN number, but I'm going to let you know the two things that you need to know. Claudia, I'm going to answer that question in a second. This is what you need to know about the EIN number. There's two things you need to know. One, you need an EIN number to build business credit. Two, it's free, so don't pay for it. Claudia, what is the difference between an LLC and an S Corp? Okay, that is not a business credit question, but luckily I'm an accountant and I'm going to give you a basic answer for that, right? Here's a basic answer for that. On your when you have an LLC, you file your taxes with your 1040 and you attach the Schedule C, which is your business revenues and expenses. All right. So you see what I'm saying? So you got your 1040 and you attach this Schedule C that this is your business income, right? Compared to a corporation, you're filing this form that's called the 1120, which is totally separate from your personal taxes. One more thing that is a basic information to determine the difference. A LLC is double taxed because they have what they call the self-employment tax, which they're going to get you on that LLC. With a corporation, they're just going to charge you the 21% of what your profit is as your tax. Okay, so that's the basic rundown of the differences. But you should get that information from your accountant to give you the best situation for your needs. Okay, cool. I got that out the way. All right. Business address. There are 3 options for selecting your business address. There are no other options after the 3. The first option is the brick and mortar. A storefront. You need to have a place that you can accept packages. Okay. The second option is a virtual office address, which there are many companies in every city all over the world that offer a virtual business address for as low as $50 a month. A lot of my clients use this because they don't want to use their home and share their home information. Also, let me tell you something else about the virtual offices is that when you deal with these virtual offices, they add on stuff if you want. Like if the mail come in, they'll open it, scan it, and fax it to you. Or they can offer you a office, or you have access to their meeting rooms, their break rooms, and they have a nice plush lobby and you're looking all nice and plushy, right? Okay, so that's the benefits of the virtual office. And the third and the last resort is your home address. Now, the reason the home address is the last resort because there are some vendors and lenders that perceive home-based business as not being credible, okay? But they also do this on a case-by-case basis. So they're trying to see if this makes sense, right? So they're thinking this, right? Let's say you're a hairstylist and you're doing hair from the house, right? Well, to them, that's normal. They might be able to pay that bill doing hair from the house. They might have some clients come in there and they can pay this bill, right? Now, on the other side of that is this. Let's say you're a trucking company. They're looking at it like this. Well, if they got all these trucks, how they can keep all these trucks at the house, right? So they're just trying to see if this makes sense. They're trying to lower their own risk. And here goes another point that's important. On your Dun & Bradstreet credit report is a Google Maps picture of your business address. So they're looking right at your crib, okay? That's one of the first things they're doing. They look at your business credit report. They looking at what your storefront looks like, okay? So that's just good information to know. Make sure you have a deliverable physical address. It cannot be a P.O. box and it cannot be a UPS. You know why? Because on that application, remember I tell you about the application, you got those fields? Well, on the address field, what they are doing is they're pulling up a database of all P.O. boxes and all UPS addresses. If you come up on that list, then they can decline you and they do not have to tell you why, okay? Crucial information. Some lenders will not approve and fund unless this criteria is met. So, virtual address. This is my go-to. This is my go-to for virtual addresses. It's Davinci, Virtual Office Solutions. You can go to this website, businesscreditbuilder.us/vendors, and you will see the logo and there's special instructions. there will be a telephone number. There will be a person to ask for. And when you talk to this person, this is what you need to tell them. The special instruction. When selecting an address with Davinci, you will want to pick a location with this verbiage. Private mailbox number issued required. These addresses are serious. There are some virtual office companies that will give you the same address as they gave 100 or 200 other businesses. You don't want that. You need your business address to be unique. And when you use this verbiage, what this does is has Davinci, what they do is they fill out this particular form and send it into the post office. So they create an address specifically for your business. That's how you need to do it. Okay. Let's see. Do we have a question in here? I use Davinci. They are great. Thank you for your resource. Oh, yeah. See? I'm telling you, Davinci is great. I'm telling you, they got this customer service down. All right.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you have multiple business under your one private mailbox number?
Private mailbox number? What do you mean? What
Can you
mailbox
have
number?
like if you have multiple businesses, can you use the same private address from Davinci?
Oh yeah. No. In that instance, see, they won't even put it all under the same. They're gonna do a different address for you anyway. Okay. So when you go to Davinci and do one, and you come back to them and say, "Let me do another," they're not gonna use the same. It needs to come up right, like the first one did.
Question.
Okay? Go ahead.
If we already have an address that's registered under our EIN, how would we change it so if we were going to go through Davinci or something like that?
Then you go to the IRS. There's a telephone number to call, which I don't have right here in front of me, but there's a telephone number to call that you can change your address at the IRS for your EIN that's associated with your EIN number.
Okay.
Expect to take about an hour on the telephone.
Okay.
All right.
But if it is already registered to an address, could we just try that one first?
If it's already registered to an address.
Because my business is registered to a home address.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, the home address will work just as long as it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'm a stylist, so yeah.
Right. You know, as long as you ain't manufacturing soup at the house, right? So,
Okay.
you know, so if it makes sense, right? Okay. Tiffany got a question. Does the virtual office have to be in the same state you created your LLC? Yes, the address needs to be in the same state that your Secretary of State is, all right? That's a red flag to them. You got your Secretary of State in one state and your address is in another state. To the lenders, that's a red flag. Well, where are you? Are you over here or are you over there? Right? Okay, let's move forward.
That's enough.
Business phone. You must have a dedicated business phone number that is listed with the 411 directory assistance under the business name. Lenders, vendors, creditors, and even your insurance providers will verify that your business is listed with 411. A toll-free number will give your business credibility, but you must have a local business number for the listing with 411 directory assistance, right? So the basic rundown is it is necessary to have a local number, dedicated, right? It cannot be a cell phone number, and it cannot be a home number, all right? The reason why, because on that application, in the telephone section, the telephone field, they're pulling up a database of all cell phone numbers and all home numbers, okay? So, and I got the go-to for you on that too. All right, so this is the go-to. Freedom Voice, Vonage, or Ring Central, all three of these will do you great. My go-to is Freedom Voice. The reason why I use Freedom Voice, because they'll give you a telephone number for $9.95 a month, and they will list your number for $3 a month. So I figured that I need to at least spend $13 a month. The 800 number and the fax number, they are not necessary as a local number is, but if you got this local number and it's listed, the lender says check. And then if you have a 800 number and your fax number, now you're looking like you can pay a bill to them, not to me, to them. To them, it makes it look like you're more credible, okay? They got a local number listed. They got an 800 number. They got a fax number. Wow, they looking like they can do some business, right? Okay. It's a perception thing. You don't have to be able to pay a bill. You need to look like you can pay a bill, okay? Cool. Fax number. Lenders perceive a credible business as one with the fax number. We talked about the fax number. You can use an e-fax and all that stuff, right? Okay, we're gonna skip over that. Website.
Next.
Not having a website for your business will get you declined. Lenders verify credibility by checking name, address, phone, fax, about us, and services and or products. They will do this. They will go to your website. When they will go to Google and put your business name in, and hopefully they're going to find your website. And when they do find your website, they're going to skip over that pretty homepage you got, and they're going to go straight to the contact page. On the contact page, they're going to look for the name of the business, the address, and the telephone. And now they're going to check to make sure that's the same information that is on the application. So now they're waiting for you to slip up right now. You see that? They're waiting for you to slip up, all right? So, important information. My company, MediaNet USA, does websites starting at $350. I got this package that's an all-inclusive, so you don't have to do nothing. It includes domain registration, website hosting. I designed the website, monthly updates, unlimited emails, internet consulting, and customer service. Expert customer service. Expert customer service, may I add. Okay, so that's the websites. We get you straight, right? Boom. And to do the website, all you do is schedule your free business credit consultation. Okay, now that you got a website, email. It is important to get a company email address for your business. Is not only professional, but greatly helps the chances of getting the thumbs up from a credit provider. Setting up a business email address is just too easy and inexpensive. This is basic information right here, right? Lenders do not want to see you doing business from a free email account. They want to see you do business from your business email account, all right? Simple stuff. It's just good to know, right? So avoid using free email services like Yahoo, Hotmail, and don't use that email that you got, partychick@yahoo, right? Don't do it, all right? Boom. So what you should use is something like your name at yourcompanyname.com, right? Or you can use support or info, right? Simple stuff. Okay, bank account. Your business banking history is vital to your future success of being able to secure larger business loans. The date you open your bank account is the day that lenders consider your business to have started. So if you incorporated your business 10 years ago, but you just opened your bank account yesterday, then to the lender, your business just started. Okay, just basic info. Having a high account balance is essential in obtaining an excellent bank rating. Having a good bank rating is essential for loan approval down the road. Try to keep at least a balance of 10,000 or higher to get a 5 bank rating. This applies when you are applying for an SBA loan and you're going to a commercial bank to get a loan. When you go to a commercial bank, this is what they're looking at. And I'm gonna give you more information about this is what they call the secret bank rating. Okay.
You're not gonna give it to them.
Licensing. One of the most common mistakes when building credit for your company is non-matching business addresses on your business licenses. Even worse is not having the required licenses for your type of business to operate legally. You will need to contact the state, county, and city government offices to see if there are any required licenses and permits to operate your type of business. Okay, state business filings listed correctly, the county, the city, the IRS, make sure all of that is listed correctly with the same information, right? Right. Business listings. Take the time to verify that the main agency, state, IRS, bank, 411 National Directory, have your business listed the same way and with your exact legal name. Also take the time to ensure every bill you get, the power bill, the phone bill, landlord, has the business name listed correctly and comes to the business address. All right? Okay. Now, so far we talked about your credibility, right? Does anybody have any questions about making your business credible in the eyes of the lender before we go to the next step? Can you make mommy a little plate? She going to bed?
I have a quick question.
All right, Miss Claudia.
So as far as the licensing, do you recommend us to call? We have to call all of these offices, the state and everything?
Yeah, it's good to at least know what the legal requirements are. What are the requirements for me to operate this business, right?
Right. Okay.
Yep. Cool. Thank you for that question. Anybody else before we move forward? Okay. The next step. Now, mind you, each step I give you is needed for the next step. And you see how long it took me for that first step, right? That's how important it is, right? So that first step is the most important. Now we're getting into obtaining your business credit reports. These are the 3 companies that offer business credit reports: Equifax, Experian, and Dun & Bradstreet. Those are the 3 companies. Business credit reports can be offered by Experian, Dun & Bradstreet, and Equifax. You will first want to get a copy of your business credit reports to see what is being reported. So this is more common sense stuff. Before you go fill out an application, you know that they're going to look at your business credit reports. So you would like to know what's on your business credit report before you fill out this application. So you'll know what they're looking at, right? Okay. Also, you want to get access to your business credit reports so that when you do make these payments on these trade lines I was speaking of before, you want to be sure that these companies are sending in accurate information timely. And these companies, they don't normally do that good, right? Because they're in the business of making that sale, right? They're selling something, right? That's what they're in business for. So they don't spend a lot of time and effort into after the sale inquiries. So after the sale, you figured out that, hey, where's my trade line? So then you call them up to ask them where the trade line is. And the person that picked up the phone don't even know what the trade line is. So then you got to go to the credit department. Then the credit department picks up the phone, and the person that answers the phone in the credit department may or may not know the answer to your question. Then you have to go to the manager of the credit department. And then sometimes these companies, they use a third party to transmit these reports to the business credit reporting agencies. So it can get kind of difficult. And that's why it's important to have a credit coach helping you in these steps, because we know exactly what to do in these situations. Now, you can figure it out, I'm sure. but it takes you some time to figure it out. Okay. Like when I started, I had an error. It took me 3 months to even figure out that I even had a problem. And then another 3 months to fix the problem. Okay. So we help you save time. All right. So boom, bam. Business credit reports. Okay. Now you can go to this website, businesscreditbuilder.us/reports. And you'll see these 3 logos, right? Equifax, Experian, Dun & Bradstreet. They will be linked directly to a page where you can put your business name and address in to see if your company has a record or not. Okay? If it does have a record, then your business name will come up with the address. Okay? And you can do that for your company. You can do that for any company. All right? Boom. Okay, now we're going to go into step 3. Anybody got any questions about the business credit reporting agencies? We good on that? Okay, cool. I like y'all. But I do like y'all to interact though too. So, it's okay to interact. Don't be shy. All right. And I'll let you know if you got too many questions. So I want to make sure I get all the information in the time frame that the webinar is selected to be in, right? Okay. Obtain vendor accounts. Now, this step here is not so simple. This is a hard step right here because now we have to go and find vendors. So far what we have done is set up our business to look credible in the eyes of the lender. And we made sure that we have our access to our business credit reports. So now we're ready to actually build business credit. Okay. So now we have to find companies that's going to give us credit when we have no credit. Also, they have to report. So these are 2 things that are hard to find. 1, not that many companies are going to give us credit when we have no credit. 2, only 10% of all businesses in the United States even report to the business credit reporting agencies because they're under high restrictions and guidelines to be even able to report. So this is a hard one to find, all right? A business credit report can be started much the same as a consumer credit report commonly is with small amounts of credit. The business can be approved for small credit amounts to help them build an initial credit profile. These types of initial cards in the business world are commonly referred to as vendor credit or net 30 accounts. A vendor is net 30. So the net 30 means when they're going to give you a little credit, and when you buy something, you need to pay it in 30 days. All right? Net 30. Paid in 30 days in full. Okay? You can get products and services for your business needs and defer the payment on those for 30 days, thereby easing cash flow. And some vendors will approve your company for net 30 payment terms upon verification of as little as an EIN number and a 411 listing. Okay? Boom. I'm gonna give you the hookup. Right? I'm gonna tell you all the steps that you need, right? Okay. These are real starter vendor accounts. Here's a good start for you. The first place you should go is Maverick. They're going to hook you up with a trade line. They actually report to all 3 credit reporting agencies. Maverick, Quill also. Maverick does offer supplies. Quill does offer supplies. Barnett is a Home Depot company. Uline sells sanitation stuff, cleaning supplies, food service supplies, right? Janitorial supplies. DigiKey is another one. DigiKey, they sell a bunch of stuff that you don't even need. Okay. All right. But those are the good starters, right? Always apply first without using your social. Some vendors will request it, and some will even tell you on the phone that they need to have it, but submit without it. Pay your net 30 vendor accounts in full and on time. You must be patient and allow time for the vendors' reporting cycles to get into the reporting systems. It typically takes 3 cycles of net 30 accounts reporting to the business credit scores. Most merchants and major retailers do offer business credit, they just don't advertise. There is no benefit to the merchant to promote credit with no personal liability if the business owner is willing to take on that liability. So they don't promote their business credit cards and regularly ask for a social security number. Okay. Some vendors require an initial prepaid order, like Uline is one of those that require a prepaid order if you have no credit on your business credit report. So some companies, if they look at your business credit report and they don't see nothing, then they're going to ask you to make some purchases first. Okay. You need to have a total of at least 5 net 30-day pay accounts reporting. So that's the goal right now, is to have 5 net 30 accounts. 5 net 30 accounts. That's why I got this car. Bust out the car though, right? See, the car got the number 5 on it, right? You check out the smoke, right? You check out the smoke, right? But check out his face. His face is like, yo, I got credit and now I'm rolling. Okay? 5 net 30 accounts and we roll into the next step. Okay, any questions on the net 30 accounts? We doing good? All right, we doing good. Y'all are taking notes. It's going down. Okay, after 5 trade lines are established using vendor accounts, obtaining revolving accounts is the next step. The revolving accounts is where you want to be, but you need those net 30 accounts because the revolving accounts, you need to have credit in order to get an account with them. Okay? You see how each step is needed for the next step? The revolving accounts ain't gonna touch you if you ain't got those net 30 accounts set up, all right? Revolving accounts are cards a business owner can use and not be required to pay the full balance owed each month. Revolving account approvals will begin coming from stores. Store revolving credit must be obtained before the business owner starts getting Visa, MasterCard, American Express type of cards. Most stores will not approve a business owner for business credit unless the owner has an established credit profile and score, just like in the consumer world. Vendor accounts must be used first to establish a profile and score, then the store credit can be obtained. It usually takes about 90 days or less to establish a score and a profile with trade lines. So it takes about 90 days to do those 5 accounts, those 5 net 30 accounts, okay? Most major stores do offer business credit, including Home Depot, Lowe's, Office Depot, Staples, Best Buy, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, Amazon, Dell, Apple, BP, Chevron, Racetrack, and a whole bunch of others, all right? So for some businesses, this is all they need to get their business running. Some businesses only need a gas card to get their truck up and down the block, or and some repairs, right? Or another company may only need a Best Buy account, an Office Depot account to get the office supplies they need, right? So the young lady that does the hairstyling, she might need to get like a Sam's Club or a Costco or an account like that that gives her hair supplies. You see what I'm saying? So some businesses, this is what they need to get going, to start generating money, right? Okay, once 10 total accounts are on the credit, An owner can then start applying for Visa, MasterCard, American Express types of cards. But you can't apply for these credit cards until you have 10 trade lines on your business credit report, okay? Approval amounts will be equivalent to the highest credit limit accounts on the business report. Try to have 10 accounts with at least one of them having a high $10,000 limit. So when you get these revolving accounts, you want to pick one of them, at least one of them, and use it more often. When you use it more often, you're making more payments. When they see that you are making payments on time, then you can call them and ask to increase your limit. Okay? So you want to pick one and you keep calling them back to figure out when you can get an increase. They won't increase you unless they see you paying some bills on time. All right? So that's what you want to do. You want to get your limits increased as much as you can. Tiffany got a question. With the CC, will they ask for Social Security number or EIN? When you say CC with the credit cards, well, if it's a true business credit card, then you'll only be supplying your EIN number. All right. So the credit card situation is difficult because it's hard to find a real business credit card. If you go search for a business credit card, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find them Capital One cards that say, hey, we're a business credit card. But if you ask them who they report to TransUnion. That's not it. They're asking for your social then, right? So it's hard to find business credit cards. That's where we help, all right? We can make that happen, okay? So cool. 10 accounts on your profile, then you can start getting those business credit cards. And when you get those business credit cards, they're gonna approve you at the highest limit. That's why when I told you about those revolving credit cards, we wanna call back and get them to raise the limits. This is why, because when you get approved for the credit cards, they're gonna approve you for the amount of your highest revolving account, okay? Boom. It is essential to keep using the credit, keep applying for more credit, and talk with credit providers to raise credit limits. If you do this, business credit will keep growing until higher limit credit lines are obtained within 6 to 12 months, okay? Here goes a bonus. Where would you go if you need money? Now that you got business credit, what do you do with it? Right? All right, so the stuff I'm gonna go over with you. What am I doing? Okay, no, that's not the next tab. Okay, here we go. Why capital is important. 1 out of 5 businesses fail within their first 5 years. Within 15 years, 75% fail. That is per the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So lenders know that most businesses fail in the first 5 years. So they know the risk that they're going into, okay? With money, you can make more mistakes and fund your business instead of using your personal funds and profits to do so. Over 75% of business owners go to friends and family. Most also use personal assets, and almost all business owners use their personal credit to grow. Only 1.2% of all business loans and financing come from the conventional banks, the Sba loans. So if you go to a conventional bank to get a business loan, they're going to give you an application for an Sba loan 90% of the time, because those Sba loans are guaranteed. So if you get an Sba loan and you don't pay it back, they still get their money. Okay, that's why the interest rate is so low. But most businesses get funding from alternative lenders. Okay, alternative lenders are hard to find. See, at the commercial bank, they got a whole bunch of products right there at the bank, right? But businesses that loan to businesses, they specialize. and they only sell one or two types of products. Okay, they specialize, and they don't have the marketing budget to be on every corner like a commercial bank. Okay, funding a small business, don't bother with the banks. That says that was printed in Bloomberg in 2014. Okay. To get approved for an SBA loan, you need to have your personal credit, your business credit, and your bank credit must be near perfect. Okay? Personal credit, business credit, and bank credit. You must have excellent current and projected financials, tax returns, bank statements, resumes, business plan, background check, and you need to have collateral. That's no doubt about it. You need collateral. All right. Over $6.7 billion will be lent to small businesses this year. There's a whole bunch of money that will be lent to businesses. But most of this money will not come from the big banks. The real problem is not the lack of available credit and money, is that business owners don't know where or how to get it. They don't know how to set up their business correctly. They don't know how to build up a number of trade lines that shows a lender I can pay a bill on time. Okay? Okay, here goes the bonus. 3 ways to get funding that your bank won't tell you about, because your bank don't sell this stuff. And I'm telling you this stuff not because you qualify now for it. Some of you may qualify for it now, some may not qualify for it. But I tell you this stuff so you can have the train of thought of how businesses fund their business, right? This is just a train of thought thing right here. Okay, and I'm gonna go through these fast. Okay, cash flow financing. Cash flow financing is the most popular type of alternative funding today. Basically, with cash flow financing, this is for existing businesses. This is not for new businesses. This is for existing businesses. You need to have $10,000 in deposits each month. That's what a business does. See, these lenders, they want to see you at least making $10,000 a month. All right. So if you have $10,000 in deposits each month into your bank, then you qualify for this. You don't need no credit. You don't need nothing but their bank statements. If you accept credit cards, then it's only $5,000. So if you have a merchant account and you accept credit cards, then that amount is only $5,000 per month. Okay, so cool. Like I said, cash flow financing, a lot of businesses use this because all businesses come into a situation where they need to pay payroll Friday, or they have a piece of equipment that went down they need to repair or replace. They need that money like right now, right? And they use this. This is expensive, all right, because it's high risk to them, okay? Mrs. McKinney has a question. So if I can accept credit card payments, if you can accept credit card payments and you receive $5,000 each month, then you already qualify for a loan. But these cash flow financing is not for everybody. This is for when you're in a bind. This ain't the willy-nilly, let me start a business. It's like when you're in a bind for your business and you need this money to keep your business going, all right? Yes, you can get equipment credit. You can get equipment financing. I'm gonna tell you more about that at the end, all right? Okay, that was cash flow financing. Now, collateral-based financing. Collateral-based financing can be obtained if you have some type of viable collateral to offset what you are borrowing. Even as a startup with bad credit, you can still secure credit collateral financing if you have collateral. Now, with these collateral-based financing, it's low interest because they know they get their money back because you gave them something So if you don't pay them, they take that, right? So the interest rate is low, okay? You don't need credit for this either. You just need collateral, all right? Here goes some examples of collateral. Accounts receivable is also known as factoring. So my client J, right? My client J, remember I told you about my client, the free money dude? So this is one of the ways that he was funding his business is with factoring. He had the freight company. The truck makes a delivery, they invoice to get paid. It takes him 30 days to get that money. So with factoring, he gets paid in 24 hours. So factoring or accounts receivable is like you have people that owe you and you can get money on what the people owe you, all right? Purchase orders, that's when you have a government contract. If you have a government contract, that's like straight cash to an alternative funding lender, right? Not the commercial bank, but an alternative lender. The right alternative lender will fund you right away, just having a contract from the government. Okay, they know that check gonna come. All right. Stocks, bonds, 401k. So if you have any one of these type of investments, those type of investments stay intact, and you can get a business loan based on the value of your investment. Revenue lending, that's similar to cash flow funding. Inventory and equipment, if you have over $100,000 in equipment or inventory, then you can get a loan on that. If you have real estate, if you have equity in your home, you can get a business loan. Insurance agents have what they call the book of business. Okay, the book of business, that's their list of clients. So to a lender, that is potential revenue to a lender, right? Okay, the third one is unsecured credit. Unsecured credit-based financing is a great way to get money for your business if you have good personal credit or know a guarantor that does. You can secure credit up to 5 times what your highest revolving limit credit has now, up to $150,000. Okay, so this is good for startups. This right here is good for startups if you have good personal credit. You need a 685 or better. So how this works is they look at your personal credit score and they look at your highest revolving account, right? And they match that 5 times on 5 business credit cards. And these 5 business credit cards report to the business credit reporting agencies. So with this product, you get approved using your personal credit. But when you make a payment, it reports to your business credit accounts, okay? Your business credit reporting agencies, okay? So that's like a double plus right there, you see? That's the unsecured credit. We also call that the hybrid, right? With these unsecured credit, the rates are usually 0% for the first 6 to 18 months. This is no doc funding, so even startups can qualify. Accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies. Okay, so accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies, which means you can actually skip the net 30s, but I don't do that, right? I still get the net 30s, and if you got good personal credit, we get you this unsecured, and now you're gonna have 10 trade lines real fast. Woo. You saw that, right? That was some advanced stuff right there. You saw that, right? All right. Okay, so boom. Unsecured. So we're like a broker, so we have a whole bunch of stuff to get you access to funding. So we have access to private money. These are private monies, private people that they're sitting on stacks of money and they are looking for the right business idea, right? Venture capital and equity financing is like Shark Tank, where they give you money for your business and they take equity in your business. Crowdfunding, you know about crowdfunding. You can also get specialized funding to buy equipment, signs, and vehicle wraps, okay? Now, remember my client, Jay, right? And I saw him getting that $250,000. Remember I told you that story, right? From the beginning. Okay. And if you didn't hear the beginning, this presentation is going to be on YouTube, so check it out. So my client, every time I did a website, $250,000 hit the bank. So I found out that what he was doing was this. He was buying trucks, right? He was getting an equipment loan to buy trucks, right? But he was advanced. Check this out though, right? All right, check this out. So he got a company set up, the freight company, right? He needs trucks to do his freight, right? But then he has another company that's a truck sales company, okay? So when the trucking company goes and gets an equipment loan to buy trucks, they cut a check to his truck sales company. So the money's just coming straight to him. Then he figured out that if you don't pay it, then it turns all automatically into a loan. And then he's so advanced that he don't even pay the loan. Because now if he defaults on the loan, they only come for the assets of that business. I'm gonna let that sink in for a little bit, right? So they only come for the assets of the business. So he never is paying the loans because they only come for the assets of that company. And none of this stuff is in his name. So he's just getting free money. And he always got 4 or 5 of these deals on the table at any given time. Tiff. Okay, let's say this again. All right. So the client is a freight company. I'm working there as an accountant. I'm also doing websites for him. And I noticed that every time I did a website, $250,000 hit the bank. So then I found out that what he was doing was getting equipment loans to buy equipment, right? He was buying trucks for his freight company, and he'll get approved. They'll send him a check for $250, but the check will go to his truck sales company, which is his own company. So he don't even pay the bill. And when you default on a business loan, they only are after the assets of the business. They can't come to his personal house and say, give me your house or something. They can only come for the assets of the business. And he does this all the time. Just regular, it's like regular business to him. Now me, all that stuff is legal and stuff, right? But it's not like moral, right? To me, I just want to know how to build business credit and get some funding for my business so I can do my business legit, right? So I don't teach you how to do this stuff like he's getting the free money. That's how he is getting free money for real. Clocking. I'm just not at the level where I'm going to do something like that, right? I just want to do it legit. That's why I teach you how to build your business credit the right way. Trade line by trade line. There ain't no shortcuts to this. If you want to be right? Ain't no shortcuts. Trade line to trade line. Yeah, he'll dissolve the business and move on to the next business. He just got free 250, but he don't need that business no more. He just sets this up for this. Okay? He's purposely going to go get this money. Okay? That's how I found out how business credit really does work. But now let me just work it within my confines of what is morally correct. What is morally correct to me is build up business credit right, present yourself to a lender as a business that can pay a bill, and that's how you get business credit. All right? That's living on the edge for real. That's living there on the edge for real, okay? And that's how I learned about business credit and that it really works. But I don't teach that stuff. I teach you how to do it for real. Trade line by trade line, you build up a track record of you showing a lender that you can pay a bill. That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it, all right? Boom. How to get easy. How to easily get, we're getting ready to get out of here. How to easily get business credit and financing all in one place. The Business Credit Builder, powered by the Finance Suite. Okay, on my website, at the bottom of each page is video testimonials from some of my clients. Check that out on the website, businesscreditbuilder.us, right? Okay, it's the ultimate solution, the Business Credit Builder. Easiest and the fastest way to get money and credit to build and grow your business. It's a simple solution. This is what you get. You get business credit for your business, not linked to your social, through the top selling business credit system. You get access to funding for your business to start, build, and grow. Our cutting edge technology helps you meet credibility requirements before you apply. You can get access discounted business reports, credit reports. You can get free DUNS number, free Experience Smart Business access, largest supply of starter vendors, massive selection of revolving store credit with underwriting guidelines, hard to find cash credit sources. No personal credit check or guarantee is required to build business credit. Cash flow financing, you get access to collateral-based financing, unsecured financing, private money. Whose mic is on? Tamika, can you mute that? Thank you. You get access to private money, alternative SBA, venture. The most popular product is our unsecured credit line. Let me just mute you. Okay, thank you. Okay. So cool. What else? Okay, so my clients get their own control panel, and it looks something like this, right? Now, this is my reseller account, so it doesn't look exactly like this because all those buttons on the left is for my reseller. Basically, you get something that looks like this. And when you go into the course, we take you step by step through each detail of building up your business credit, okay? See, the first step there is credibility. Next step is establishing business credit reports. Then we go through, when we build up your business credit, we build your business credit in 4 tiers of vendors, okay? 4 tiers of vendors, all right? All right. Now, when you go into each step, you see each step there, we give you instructions on how to complete this step, all right? So we give you instructions. We give you a video on how to complete this step. Then, if you still can't figure it out, then there is advisors that you can call or email to help you complete this step, okay? Okay, so you're not doing this alone. Every single step of the way, you have somebody there. When we get to the part where we're gonna show you the vendors, each tier of vendors, we give you about 15 vendors and we tell you to pick about 3 of them or more. Okay, yeah, I saw that comment. Kimberly, she got a DUNS number. Okay, so these are the vendors, right? So when we give you a vendor, this is one of the vendors, and we give you information like this. This is for Racetrack. They report to Dun & Bradstreet, which is important for you to know who they report to, so you'll know what report to look for your trade line.
Don't give them all
right.
information.
Dun & Bradstreet, their terms is it's a revolving account. Give them a phone number, the fax number, description of what they sell, how to qualify. You need an EIN number, a DUNS number, a pay debt score of 78. They prefer you to be in business 3 years. You need to have a business entity, and you have the business phone listed with 411. I already told you about all of this stuff. Excuse me, Mom. Mom, lower your voice, please. Thank you. All right, so that's the stuff that you need to qualify. And there's a button right on the page so you can apply right there, or they give you instructions on how to apply. Okay. Now, this is one of my clients, Christine. She did all of these, she got all of these approvals in 6 months without giving her social. Not everybody could do this. She was able to do this because she's a stay-at-home mom. She's a stay-at-home mom, and her husband is a truck driver. So she's at home all the time, and she's able to work this. Not everybody could do this. Sprint 2,000, Amazon 4,500, Tractor Supply 5,000, Exxon 5,000, Fuel Man Fleet 6,000, BJ 7, BP 8, Lowe's 10, Apple 12.5, Shell 15. Whew. This is over $250,000 in business credit right here that she was able to get in 6 months. All of my clients that follow the steps are all undersold. They get way more than I even tell them they can get. Okay. Okay. You also get your business credit advisors who offer you concierge service for 12 months. You get your own finance officer for 5 years. The finance officer matches up all the funding that you will qualify for. We already have the lenders. My clients can't get approved right now. So we are preparing you to get approved for options that we already have. This is the alley-oop to go get the money, okay? This is real. Here's a quick summary. We're gonna get out of here. You get your own business credit finance suite control panel, discounted business credit reports, free DUNS number, free Experian, largest supply of starter vendors, massive selection of revolving store credit, hard to find cash credit cards, that's the Visa, MasterCard, American Express, access to cash flow, collateral-based and unsecured and private money sources. This will typically take you 18 to 24 months if you do this on your own. With us, it usually takes us about 12 months to do. There's no shortcuts. I'm not saying this is like the quick way to go get some money. I'm telling you the real way to do it, right? When you're starting from scratch, okay? We save you time, okay? That's the bottom line is we save you time, all right? I'm not saying you can't do the steps that I already told you, you can't do it. You can do it, it just takes you some time to do it. And remember, there's gonna be the bumps and the lumps along the way. We're here to smooth it out for you. Okay, I got 2 packages, the core package and the business credit building program. The core package is exactly what I explained to you. You get your own control panel and you get your advisors and you build up your business credit step by step in the system. The business credit building program is a one-on-one consultation with me, okay, for 1 year. And I have access to the vendors. I have access to the advisors, right? Okay, so get started today as part of this seminar, and you can get started with a huge discount on your premier enrollment plan. This usually costs $4,400, but my price is only $29.95. And today, I have a certificate for $500. I can give the first person to call me $500 off. So what you need to do is when we end this, you call up 404-500-9687 and take advantage of the certificate that I have to give you $500 off. All right, only got one of them. All right, so we can get down. So you can put down $1,500, make 6 easy payments, and we're gonna work it out. Get you started on your path to building up your business empire, right? Okay, the business credit building package. This is a one-on-one consultation for 1 year. It usually costs $2,500. My price is only $9.95. You can start today with $400 down. If you pay a single payment of $750, you save $250 right off the bat. All right. Okay. I also, if you can't afford none of that, you can also go to my website and get one of my ebooks for as low as $10. Got the $50 book, $10 books, right? So boom, if you can't afford the other stuff, learn it on your own, right? Start today. Get started. Schedule a free business credit consultation at businesscreditbuilder.us/consult. Also, if you can't afford the ebooks, my blog has so much information. I'm trying to tell you. All right, go to the blog, businesscreditbuilder.us/blog. There's a whole bunch of information. Subscribe to the social media platform of your choice. And I'm gonna get out of here. All right, this is how we do it. Check out the contacts. My name is Noel Booker. Y'all have a good evening. Any more questions? Was there a question I was supposed to answer at the end of this? I think there was.
I have a question. With the information that you shared, can this also be used for nonprofit organizations?
Yes, and definitely can. Because a nonprofit organization is a business for profit first. Nonprofits got to get money in order to provide the service that they provide. So don't think that nonprofits is not a business. Nonprofits are just as a business as any other business. They just don't have to pay taxes.
Wow.
Right? Okay.
My goodness. I'm just, thank you for this information. Like you've shown, I mean, like, it's amazing. Like I've had most of this stuff already done. It's just, I've had a Duns and Bradstreet number for 7 years, but never knew how to utilize it, never knew how to use it.
Now
I
you
think
know.
now I see, because I think what was off was the address. I believe that was the reason why I was getting denied, because of my address, the information was different.
There you go. Boom.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I love to help people out. Yep. That's my thing. I'm like one of those type of people that I like to help people out. Right. So when I was younger, I was a DJ because I like to see people have fun, right? So now that I'm older, I'm in my accounting world, and this is how I help people. You know, people don't know about this. I didn't know about business credit. I went to Morehouse for accounting and didn't know about business credit. You know why? Because at school, they teach you how to get a job. Because in the capital system, the capital system does not work if everybody is a business owner. They teach you how to get a job so you can pay taxes and fund the government. All right. That's why I never knew about this stuff. Or I missed that day in class. Okay, Tiffany, regarding personal credit, what is the utilization rate? What is the utilization rate to aim for to increase your personal credit? I don't do personal credit, but the answer is 20 to 30%. That's right. Our counterparts know about it. You know what about that counterparts know about it? Check this out, right? See, my family, they never knew about this. So they couldn't teach me this. My dad didn't know. My dad had a business and didn't teach me this, okay? Now, other cultures have it built into their culture to share this information. Like there's one particular culture that when you're a youth, they have this party for you called the bar mitzvah, and everybody brings you money. And you hold that money until it's time for you to spend that money. And then when it's time to spend the money, they tell you what to do. That's not built in our culture. My people didn't know, right? You know it, Kim, right? It's broke down into the system. Well, It's in their culture to share that information. That's not part of our culture, right? Because it was never given to us from the giddy up, right? They put it all in books, and they knew we wasn't reading. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just funny like that. All right.
No,
All right.
you're right. You're
and they
right. You're
trying to do it again. They trying to do it again, trying to keep us from voting and stuff like that. So, you know, with me giving this information like this, I don't care. You know, you can go and do it. Don't even need my services. You got the steps. You can do the steps. But there are bumps and lumps along the way. And that's what my consulting services help you with. Saving time and the frustration of those bumps and lumps. All right, straight up and down. Anything I tell you I could do, I could do. If I tell you something, I know it. I don't tell you something that I don't know. If I tell you something, I know it for sure. It's 100. Right. All right. I hope this information was good for everybody. I went over 10 minutes. I like to stay within the hour and a half guidelines. But hey, y'all had some questions, so I'm down with that. That's cool. Y'all had some good questions. There's a good crowd to have tonight. I appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you. Thank you for your information. Thank you very much. Very
if y'all could go to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, make a comment. That's gonna help me out a little bit. Yo, just appreciate y'all. Schedule a consult. If y'all got some questions, hit me. I'm available. I'm gonna let you know when I'm not. All right, so it's good. All right, everybody, y'all have a good evening. Happy New Year, blessings and all that good stuff, right? Y'all have a good night, y'all. Thank you.
You too. Thank you so much. I'm going to share this information with other people.
Thank you, love. Y'all have a good evening. Now let's figure out how to get out of here. One more thing. If you're still there, one more thing. If you think you may qualify for a business loan right now, go to the website and there's a button that says get funding. All right. Rock that.
Now,
Also,
this is your website?
Yes, businesscreditbuilder.us.
Okay.
Right. Check out the business loans section. If you think you qualify, check out the business loans. If you think you qualify, even if you don't think you qualify, check it. There's some good information in there, and there's a easy application. The application, if you're applying for a business loan, it's a soft pull on this pre-qualification application, and then if you get funded, then that's when they do a hard pull. But every situation is different. And when you fill out that pre-qualification, you'll get a call from one of the lending officers that you can drill them on all the questions that you need. Okay.
So this means you got to have that address. You have to have those things in check first.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would have all that in check. If I'm a business and I'm trying to go apply for a loan, they're gonna check. Now, every lending situation, every company does their checks differently, right? How they're gonna approve you. But what I told you is in most of them, right? So if you go through all of those steps, you're gonna be lined up nicely.
Okay, so I have a question, Noel. I ran into a situation now where my car has to have a transmission, and I was really considering using or finding out about business credit in order to pay for it. And when you said at the beginning that most companies now, they don't even do, if you're getting like because I'm the minivan, I carry equipment, I'm a musician. When I looked up some information, like I looked up Enterprise today, and I saw now that they only do commercial cars, and sometimes you have to have a minimum of 5 vehicles in order for them to do any type of business credit. And I think it was really directly because people were getting personal vehicles with their business credit, and they wasn't paying the loan. So are there still any, well, you may or may not be able to answer, are there still any automobile dealerships or, some of the you know, some of those businesses that relate to your business that you're doing that will offer the credit instead of, like, for me, it wouldn't work for me to get, you know, if I'm a musician and I do this, I do that, it wouldn't work for me to get equipment like a, you know, like a tractor trailer or truck or anything like that.
Right. You can get a single vehicle and that be, you know, your equipment purchase. So in your situation, this is business for you. So it would be to your benefit to build up your business credit and find a dealership that will do a deal with you. Okay, so every dealership, they do that business credit differently. There are some dealerships that are hard to find, but there are some dealerships that only want you to have a certain amount of trade lines and they will do it for you. So I wouldn't go to a dealership unless I had 10 trade lines
Gotcha.
on there, and then you go shopping. Now,
Gotcha.
you might find some dealerships that take less than 10, but to me, in general, you don't have good business credit if you don't have 10 trade lines.
Gotcha.
So when I go to a dealership, be like, yo, can you do this deal? Right? So if you go to a dealership and you got good personal credit and you say, yo, can you do this deal? They're gonna look at your credit and be like, well, we can, we cannot. We can do it with this terms or whatever. So the same thing with business credit, you go shopping. You go shop, see who's gonna do the deal with you, right?
Mhm.
Just like you go buy hair, you're gonna go shop. How much hair can I get for how much? It's the same thing. You go shop these dealers and see who's gonna do the deal. Ally is a good company too. Ally, L-A-A-Y.
Is that the bank that you can accrue at least what 2% interest on, like in your accounts?
I'm not sure, but according to my corporates, that's one of the companies that's on our list. Ally,
Okay.
Ally, or whatever it is.
Okay, well, cool. That's good information to know. I think that's all of my questions.
Anybody else before we get out of here? Y'all got me into my mom personal time now. All right, any more questions? All right, I appreciate everybody for coming. Make sure y'all do what you got to do.
Oh, I have one question for
right, go
the
ahead, Kim.
slides that you have. If we missed anything, because I think there might have been a page that I may have missed. Is this anywhere on? Is this on your YouTube?
Yes, this particular presentation will be on the YouTube within 2 days or a day.
Okay.
And there are past presentations on there as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. We're gonna be out of here this time. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Appreciate y'all coming through. Peace.
Good night.